I have a dream, oh, I have a dream. Red, white, and blue, fly free, fly free. I believe, oh, I believe. Will you dream with me? Do you dream of trout-filled things, 200-year-old trees? Do you dream of keeping our rivers clean and teaching our kids that we all live downstream? That's what it means to really dream. Do you dream of chasing whitetail bucks and hearing mallard ducks? Do you dream of seeing America stay free? Do you dream of turkeys trotting by and bald eagles soaring high? That's what it means to really dream.
Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to Changing Times. It is Wednesday, March the 29th, and we are glad to be here. We're glad you are with us today. This is show number 102, and we've got a tremendous friend and guest today. John Wilson, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing quite well. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Well, you're sure welcome. We've got a lot of great information that you're going to share with everyone today. And if you live anywhere around Southwest Missouri and into Arkansas and Oklahoma and Kansas, and maybe even further away, we've got an event this summer that would just really make a difference in your life, in your family's life, friends' lives. And so we're going to tell you about something that's extremely positive and extremely good to know about. But anyway, we are live at Axe Media Group headquarters in Springfield, Missouri, as we are every Wednesday. And I'm the weatherman when the weather is good. I don't like to talk about negative things on our show, so we always have positive solutions, John. And so today is going to be a positive day. We're going to be in the low 60s today in Springfield and Southwest Missouri, and then tomorrow we'll be in the low 70s. So I always like to talk about that. When it's freezing and sleeting and things like that, I just tell people be careful, but I don't like to talk about it. So anyway, that's kind of how we do that.
You're my kind of weather man.
Yeah. You know, and I can always be right that way because I'm only talking about the positive things. And the other thing is I want people to know we are live always every Wednesday on Facebook, on Axe Media Group's headquarters, Springfield, Missouri. Just look us up, Axe Media Group, and then just look under Changing Times and you'll find our show. Also, we're live on YouTube and Twitter, same time, 9:00. And then also you can watch our show anytime during the day after that on those three social platforms. And also you can see us on LinkedIn. A lot of people do professional LinkedIn. You can see us there. You can see us on Daily Motion and Rumble. And we have a growing audience every week, and we really appreciate it. So that's kind of where we're about. We talk about social issues, social causes, always with a positive solution. If you can't have a solution and a positive solution, you don't need to be talking about it. You're just complaining. And so that's what I see on TV all the time. I watch TV, I watch the news, and I listen to radio and so much, and even the newspaper, and you just see all the negative stuff, but there's not very many positive solutions. But I believe with God, there is a lot of positive solutions, and there's one positive solution if you trust in God. So anyway, hey, we're going to get started today. And John, just kind of, I know you very well and your wife, Beth, very well, and I know your ministry, but light the way. How did you and Beth get started doing that?
Yeah, so we're actually in our 7th year in operation. This year will be our seventh year doing a festival. But the history here, just kind of in short, is been a music promoter for over 17 years. First 10 of those years was in secular music. I was a country music promoter. Started as a young artist manager, trying to find a local artist and play, get them played in different shows and locally, and built relationships with those venues, and then started buying bigger entertainment for those venues, and just worked my way up to eventually small venues all the way up to arenas, coliseums, amphitheaters, things like that. And about, almost 7 years ago, did a little Christian concert as a joke, more or less, and it changed my world. And I ended up getting saved, found Christ, and got freed from all the addictions that I had. And out of that is what birthed this music festival. And the focus of the music festival is to take church outside the walls. Our history of my wife and I, we come from drugs and alcohol history. And we really didn't like church people. We didn't like Christians. We actually would call Christians Bible thumpers. And we always just felt that there was always judgment there. There was always criticism, and that all they would want to do is just throw their Bible down our throat, and we just didn't want nothing to do with that. But when I realized and found Christ, I realized the importance of the church, the importance of fellowship, the importance of brotherhood or sisterhood. And but I also knew that there was more people out there like us who would never step foot in the church, but we would go to a concert any day of the week. And so the night I got saved, I had a dream of starting a festival with a mission statement of taking church outside the walls. We started this festival first year, one day, 2017, in a small town, Stockton, Missouri. Really great success. Small town, maybe 1,500 in population.
Right. I know all about Stockton. Good place to go fishing.
Yep. Yeah. And selling.
Sailboats.
Yeah. So we did this festival, and first day down in the city park, very small, maybe 3.5 acres, and ended up having a little over 10,000 people show up.
Yeah. You're good at having large crowds. I know you've had up to 50,000 people at concerts.
Yeah. In 2019, I think we were pretty close to 44,000.
Yeah. So,
and that's where it's at. We've seen hundreds, if not thousands, make decisions for Christ. Our festivals do on the spot baptisms, present the gospel both nights of the festival. Typically it's 2 nights. And then God's really moving in it. And we're just, we're excited to see what he's going to do.
Well, I tell you what, so the people out there listening, I think a lot of people are going to resonate with what you're saying, because just 7 or 8 years ago, you weren't a Christian,
right?
And Beth wasn't a Christian, and things can, there's all kinds of things that can happen that lead you to Christ. But the most important thing is you were led to Christ, and look what you're doing today. You guys today are difference makers. That's my thing. I've said from show 1, when we were talking about human trafficking, people are difference makers. I'm looking for difference makers to be on our show. And then Don Blackard, my co-host, she was always saying, be the change. You're being the change. And I always say then, okay, Don, if you say that, I'll say this. If you're a difference maker and you're being the change, you are one of the most important people in this world to do that and to be making a difference in people. John, one of the things that we always try to do on our show is to bring joy and hope and happiness to people. Because as I go around being in healthcare my whole life and being in politics, I have found that a lot of people have no hope. They've got so many mental problems and physical problems going on today. We've got depression, we've got anxiety, we got all these suicide tendencies. We got all these people going out there thinking they can kill other people because they don't like life and saying, we've got a terrible time going on right now. And the only person that can really solve all of that is Christ. And you really made a strong point. I bet you people paid attention to that. A lot of people don't go to churches, partly maybe because the buildings scare them. They're big, nice buildings, and maybe they don't think they belong inside. And then, I love the concept church without walls because people just bring lawn chairs and they sit on blankets and they just are extremely comfortable. You can take your shoes and socks off and you can rub your feet through the grass while you're listening to great Christian music. And Janet and I have been to your concerts for several years in a row. We're going again this summer. We're going to be talking about that. But I think one thing that maybe has helped a little bit, but then our society has changed. So one thing that I think has helped churches where people can go to church a little bit is I remember when my mom took me to church and my brother every Sunday, people dressed up. I remember my mom had high heels on, a nice dress, blouse. I was supposed to wear a little tie, you know, one of those little ties for little boys and stuff like that. And I watched men, they had suits on or sport coats and ties, everybody dressed up to go to church. Thank goodness today you don't have, we still see some people at church that some of the older men that might have a coat and a tie on. That's fine. You wear what, the good news is today in church in the United States, you wear whatever you want to wear. We've got a doctor that's a family practice doctor where I go to church at James River, and he wears shorts even in the wintertime, cargo shorts. I'm thinking, hey, good gosh, is your legs not cold? But I mean, you know, people can wear T-shirts. You don't have to dress up to go to church. Right. That's a blessing. But on the other hand, I think yours even more of a blessing because you just come as you are.
Well, not only that, we really don't care what your background is.
No,
you know, we don't have a denomination tied to our ministry. We're not tied to one church.
You don't judge anybody when they're coming through. You're
Absolutely
just
not.
glad they're there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's really good. Well, so let's just kind of dive right into what's going to happen July 7th and July 8th. In Ozark, Missouri.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, we're excited to be in Ozark, Missouri, Christian County. We've been in Greene County since 2019 when we moved from Stockton down here, and just through some different circumstances, we were fortunate enough to be able to move and find a beautiful piece of property right along the Finley River, just north of the Finley Park there in Ozark, Missouri. Big open field, I think about, 20, 30 acres, something like that. And it's just kind of down in a holler wrapped around beautiful trees, and been out there many, many nights watching the sunset. And I just can't wait for people.
Yeah. It's a beautiful setting. It's Mark and Amy Akers property.
Absolutely.
In Ozark, Missouri. We're really proud of the Mark and Amy Aker for doing that. The farm is called Faith Family Farm.
Yeah.
So when everyone, and you're going to be coming from all over the area and country, I want people in all over the United States to come to this, and you're going to find out why when you start talking about some of the professional people that's going to be there, the musicians and all the things you're going to be doing. But I mean, no, it's a beautiful setting. It's on Riverside Road. It's just inside the city limits of Ozark and just on the outside of city limits of Ozark. And as a commissioner, we were able to get that voted in to make sure that you got to have this concert, because I know you want to do it every year right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've signed a long-term agreement with the Akers, and as a matter of fact, Amy just joined my board. She got voted in last maybe 2 weeks ago, I believe. And so she's getting invested pretty heavily, pretty quickly. And we're honored for that family to be a big part of this event. And so the event, like you said, July 7th and 8th, I mean, really, if you've never been to the festival, I mean, you walk into the festival, it's actually more than just the music, you know?
Oh yeah. There's, tell everybody what kind, when you first walk in, what are they going to see?
Yeah. Well, what you'll see vendors, food vendors wrapped around the whole property, food, non-food, ministry vendors, businesses, partners that's partnered with us, all set up throughout the whole event. You'll see massive inflatables for the kiddos, so the parents can let the kiddos run free in the inflatables, supervised. We have volunteers that will watch them. And then while the parents go and enjoy the music, you'll see it's quite the large stage.
Right. And, I don't know how expensive that stage is, but I mean, it's massive, and it's going to be out there in Ozark, Missouri. And it's just a massive thing. It's what I'd think you'd see in a big city or something.
Well, I mean, they're in the big cities too. And so, we'll have a really large stage there, and gates open up both of those days at 3 p.m. And then music will start probably around that 4 o'clock hour. And then it's just nonstop music, different. We've got a great MC, Christian comedian Paul May, that's going to be there on both nights, kind of getting the crowd excited, happy, laughing, probably crying too. I don't know yet, but he'll be there for both days, just kind of leading the charge for that. And so once that first act goes on, it's nonstop all the way up till about 10 o'clock at night on both nights.
Yeah. And John, so when you were talking about booths a while ago, one of the things that people can get is a lot of free information, a lot of good Christian free information for themselves and their family. But another thing that I'm impressed on is I know you're going to do it again this year, is your baptism swimming pools. Are you going to have 2 of them?
I don't know. I think we're doing one. We're getting a bigger one. So essentially what it is, it's a swimming pool. Yeah. We bring in a pretty large swimming pool. We place it right there close to the stage by our prayer tent, because we have a big prayer tent. A lot of prayer counselors that are there ready and willing to pray for anyone and everyone all day long. Right. And if they want to make a decision to be baptized, you'll get a change of shirt, shorts, anything you need to prepare yourself to get baptized and get yourself back together again. It's not for swimming though.
You can't do laps. I mean,
no. Unless you feel like you need to be baptized more than once. So.
You swim back, and they'll baptize you again. Swim back, they'll baptize you 3 times.
Okay. After your first baptism,
some people
we'll start
might
charging.
Need baptized more than one time, but no, not really. You just one time, real baptism, and that's all you need.
We'll just start charging after the first baptism, because then it's more pure enjoyment for the hot, being in the hotness.
Yeah. So I think that's an awesome thing, because there will be people at this concert on July 7th and 8th, Friday and Saturday, that will be saved. They will actually find the Lord on those evenings, those afternoons, and what better thing to do than is to be baptized right after that. I mean, don't wait. Right. Don't wait and put it off. Just do it. And it probably really kind of warm in July. So maybe being baptized might be a good thing. You'll feel really good for a while.
I know by the end of the day, I'm ready to get baptized.
Yeah. So I think that's awesome. So, I mean, it's just really good. And you have a really great light system up on the stage and everything. So, and you're extremely organized. I mean, one of the things that people, because you have all this crowd, this number of people, but you've got, a lot of volunteers, and then you have some paid people that are security and different people. You've got volunteer security. I mean, you know how to direct all that traffic. I've always been amazed, because everyone I went to, I got in and out pretty quick. And you think about, I've been to some concerts where didn't even have as many people as you had, and I waited an hour or 2 or 3 hours in a line of cars.
Oh, wow.
And so that takes away the joy of the concert you just attended. And
you just got saved, and now you're being now you're being tested.
You're being tested.
Yes,
and I don't want to be tested. And so that is good. Yeah. So kind of lead us into who is going to be there on Friday night, and then we'll talk about Saturday night. So your first night, who's going to be there? Yeah.
So I've got it pulled up, because there's so many of them that will be there in Ozark. So so what we've got on Friday night, we've got headlining first. We got the Newsboys are coming back, huge crowd favorite. And actually, this is our first time ever working with the Newsboys. In the 7 years we've been doing this will be the first time. And we got KB coming. We've got Colton Dixon, new artist Billy Ballinger, who actually came in 2021 and also was our speaker. So he's coming back again. It was great to have him. Katie Nicole will be there. And then on Saturday, of course, we've got Matthew West that will be there. Crowd favorite Ann Wilson will be there. Kate Thompson, a new artist duo, Manic Drive, and a fan favorite, Kate Thompson, will be there as well. And again, we've got a few others that we're going to be there, that kind of local guests. And we actually have a worship team this year that will be there that is going to blow your socks off when you hear these guys and be a part of it.
Are they a local? Are they local?
They're not a local.
No,
but
they're not.
They're not a local, but they feel local.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But we're excited. Visible Music or Visible Collective Worship is they're out of Memphis. Okay. They've been a longtime ministry partner of ours, and so they'll be at this festival, and honestly, many others. I know we're talking about Ozark today, and it's going to be great to be at Ozark, but God's really been moving in our ministry. And I know back in November 1st, we hosted a red carpet banquet, and I know you and your wife were able to attend, and we cast a big vision.
Right.
We cast a big vision, and Lord placed it on my heart that that it was time to take Light the Way across the state lines. And of course, I don't like traveling. I want to stay home.
Right.
You know?
So tell people just a little bit about that vision and where you are so forth today.
Yeah. So when we cast that vision on November 1st of last year, the vision that Lord put on my heart is, again, like to take Light the Way across the state lines. And I just started getting cities, and the Lord placed on my heart 10 cities. We wanted to hit 10 cities doing music festivals all across the country. And how I know it's from God is because I'm like, I don't really want to do this, but I knew that was something it's like, I know that I know that I know. And so we cast it with faith and said, here's what we're doing, and through many, many doors that's been opening, God's been providing those doors to fly open. As of today, we've got 5 festivals that are confirmed, permits, lineups, and everything that's really, really happening. So the way this summer is going to look for us is we're June 16th and 17th. We will be in a town called Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is literally just right outside of Memphis. More people than I tell about this, they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of Olive Branch. So you may have already heard of it. If not, it's just literally right outside of Memphis. We've got Toby Mac coming to that. We've got the Newsboys coming to that. I think the Newsboys is playing almost every one of our festivals.
Okay, well, great, good.
So that's going to be on June 16th and 17th, and then we come over here to Missouri and do it in our own backyard on Ozark, July 7th and 8th, and then we're going all the way down to, not all the way down, but over to Broken Arrow, right outside of Tulsa, and doing a festival there on August 18th and 19th, which is the weekend of my birthday. So it's going to be a party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then right after that, then in September, now get this. This is so cool how God's worked this out, and it was part of the vision. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but He's made it happen. But we're going all the way up to Washington, D.C.
They need it. I'm sorry. I mean, we got people, John, watching from all states.
Oh yeah.
And but guess what? I mean, I'm not picking on you, but honestly, they need something like that. Yeah. They need a revival. They need what you're providing.
Yeah. So September 2nd, we're going to be doing a 1-day music festival that will be free. It will be a free festival. So come as you are, no cost, nothing. And we're actually going to be doing it right there at the National Mall.
Wow.
Beautiful. I've never been to Washington. I've only seen pictures
of it.
I've been
several times. I don't want to live there, though.
Yeah. So then, we're doing that on September 2nd. And then right after that, we come down and we're doing a massive 3-day festival in Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
Actually, Ennis, Texas, which is just right outside of Dallas at the Texas Motorplex.
Wow. Okay.
And so that's going to be 3 days on November 10, 11, and 12. So we're very busy. And then we're squeezing in other concerts in between. So
all right.
Yeah.
I think it's time to probably take a break. And so Matt, it's time to take a break. I'm going to talk about, we got Matt here today, and he's the chief producer and head producer. And so we appreciate him today. Appreciate all our volunteer producers and everything, John, that we do in Acts Ministry. Everybody's a volunteer.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody gets paid. And
wait,
so,
am I not getting a check?
Nope. Don't get, you're a volunteer today too. This is what's the beauty of it. And when we get back, don't forget, we need to talk about your idea at that dinner about bringing younger people, making sure we have younger people,
the youth,
younger generations to your festivals, because
Absolutely.
that is a key. Because I mean, I think a lot of them, we all need it, but a lot of those young people have, we kind of see what the church attendance is and things like that. But anyway, so our shows are brought to you by 3 sponsors right now. The first one is Brad Pistow. He is a certified fiduciary financial planner located right in Ozark, Missouri. Jan and I, just by the way, was talking to him yesterday. We spent about 45 minutes yesterday kind of going over our portfolio of our retirement investment and kind of making sure we're on track, asking him some questions, because at my age, we're beginning to work on our trusts and all the things that you do, fun things like buying funeral insurance and things like this. So, I mean, don't get to be my age, because stay young like like John because, but this is what older folks do. But so you need someone to help you with retirement planning because it will get here before you know it. It's never too early to think about retiring. So you can call Brad Pisteau. He's located in Ozark, Missouri at 417-581-9222. 417-581-9222, licensed in more than one state. And also he has friends in all 50 states, associates he works with because he travels all over the country and does speaking engagements. He's written a couple books, Safe Money Matters and Bulletproof. You call that number, 417-581-9222, and he'll send you a book. Lisa or Hunter will send you a book, and they'll give you all kinds of information. And he's also a contributor for USA Today. So he's a guy who knows what he's talking about. And that way, for Janet and I, we will never run out of money. We will never run out of money. We've not lost not one penny during the stock market decline. We've made money, and we continue to get money back each year from our investments. So he's the guy to talk to. Youngblood Motor Group, that's our second group. That is the two Johns. That's John Whittaker and John Youngblood. John Whittaker usually sits right there in that chair, and he's the general manager and part owner with John Youngblood. And I bought my last two Grand Cherokee vehicles from them, and I continue to buy cars from them, and they have the best service. They've been in business over 43 years, one of the oldest family-owned car dealerships in the Springfield area. They know cars, and they are very, very good. What I like about them, and right now for a lot of people out there, including myself, it's really expensive to buy a new car. And so they have really great certified used cars. So they've got a new car lot on one side of South Campbell in Springfield, and they have the used cars across the street on the other side of South Campbell. And there's usually at least 150 cars that are certified. That means that when you drive off the road, the wheel's not going to fall off before you get home. I mean, honestly, sometimes you can buy a used car and it looks like it's a great car. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you have a $500 or $1,000 bill staring at you, and you just bought the car. I mean, I've heard friends talk about this, and I know people out there have had the same thing. You bought this beautiful car. It looks like it's in great shape. Then all of a sudden you've got expenses that you didn't want to incur. These certified cars are much safer, much more protected because they go through such a safety point check, making sure everything is perfect on those cars. Mm-hmm. So I would highly recommend them. They specialize in Nissan and Kia on the new side, and then all kinds of makes and models on the used side. And then our third sponsor, who would sit right where you are if Don's not here, is Louis Michael. And Louis Michael is a realtor for the firm FIRM in Ozark, Missouri. And his telephone number, and he always answers his phone, is 417-988-1086, 417-988-1086. And the firm is run by the Parham family. Different Parham family members have been part of that, and that is part of the Aker family. Mm-hmm. And so Amy Aker and Mark, that's mm-hmm. part of the Parham family, and they are kind of a boutique real estate company that specializes. I mean, Louis specializes in everything. He'll sell you farmland. He'll sell you expensive homes, whatever you need. He'll help you buy or sell a home. And I got a great deal with him because he's a tremendous Elvis impersonator. He's won many prizes trying to impersonate Elvis. He's really good at it. And if you buy a home from him, he'll come in the backyard and I'll help him. We're going to set up parties for you where you get to know all your neighbors. You're going to be really popular because you're going to have this professional. He's saying he performs in Vegas and all over the country. And so this guy is really good. And you can bring you'll have to get the cookies and refreshments, and he'll just sing, and I'm kind of like his promoter, and we're going to have fun, just lawn chairs sitting in the back. We have our shoes off too, and we can just put our feet in the ground and things like that. So that's why you want to buy a home or sell a home with Louis Michael, the firm. And anyway, he'll be back next week. Louis Michael is going to be our host all through April with me. So that's really good. So that's our 3 sponsors, and that's what helps make this thing go. That helps us get new equipment like this mic right here, and we're still working on getting enough money to have a telephone system, just a simple telephone system where you can call in. You, the people that's watching this show, somebody might say something, and you might want to call in and ask a question. I'm used to a talk show. I did a talk show for 7.5 years, and that it really makes it great when people can be interactive with each other. So that's really good. So that's our 3 sponsors right now. We still have room for another sponsor or 2, and we're working on it always to get those last 2 sponsors. So, okay. So let's go back and talk. One of the things that I think is really, really important is our youth. Okay. And I believe that, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but this is my own thought. As I kind of watch every day, when you get to be my age, you just sit back and watch things. And I kind of think we've had a generational or 2 of kind of lost parenting skills. And why I say that is my mom always took me to church. Not my dad, my mom took my brother and I to church every Sunday. And I appreciated that. I may not appreciate it as much when I was young, but I know now that was the right thing to do. And that is really an obligation and a duty, I believe, for parents to do that. Now, you look at even like my kids, my kids, the 2 kids that have 3 children each, they don't really, if they want to go to church, they go to church. If they don't want to go to church, they don't have to go to church. If you want to go fishing, go fishing. If you want to sleep in, sleep in. I'm not knocking my kids. I'm not knocking anybody, but that's a different concept than what I grew up with. And I thank God that my mom took us there because I do know that you have a better chance in life and earlier on if you know God at an early stage instead of a later stage when you have to know God because you just got a really bad news. And it's never too late until it's too late. And then it's too late. And so anyway, so you got this idea that you want to bring young people in and trying to have some free tickets for them and things.
Yeah. So we launched a new program in our ministry we're calling it Z412, Generation Z 412, based from the scripture, 1 Timothy 4:12. And the heart and the idea behind that is we don't want any barriers of whatever that may look like for a young person not to be able to come to the festival. And 9 times out of 10, that major barrier is the cost, ticket cost. And so what we look for is we're looking for partners, business partners, private donors that can help fund young people to be there. And with the Z412, you can donate anything, any amount you want to that program. That program will allow for X amount of tickets for young people to come at no charge for the whole weekend. And I believe so far our goal is we're wanting 1,000, 2,500 young people there, and I think we're a little ways behind. We're about 103 right now that we can gather, which is still great, but we want to see more, and there's more that want to come. We have many smaller churches, smaller ministries that have submitted requests for tickets, and we don't have enough funding to bless them all. So we're trying to get more donors that will support that initiative. And then what we'll do is and this will be at every one of our festivals in every community that we're in, when that initiative is over and that festival is over, the remaining funds, if any is left over, will go to that local school district to pay off any negative lunch balances. So when those students come back to school, they'll start free and clear and have no negative balance on their lunch.
Well, I tell you what, I think that's just a great idea. And I hope God just really blesses this idea. And I was just thinking when you said that, because there's so many people out there that really can't afford to make donations that really could make them if they knew about it. And I know one man I just now thought of that lives down in Bradleyville, Missouri, little Bradleyville, Missouri, and he's a extremely rich man, been extremely blessed. And I'm not going to mention his name, but everybody knows, if they know anything about Southwest Missouri, they know who I'm talking about. But I'm going to actually see him, call him, because he could fund the whole thing for you. And there's people out there that could do that. We know today, John, with inflation and all the things going on, that there's money is extremely tight for a lot of individuals. And again, that adds to all those different feelings of depression, anxiety, mood swings, and all this stuff. And so we understand, but I think the more people that we can actually help go to this. I'll just tell you a real quick story. Yesterday afternoon at 4:00, I just got back from a meeting at 3. I zigzag around as presiding commissioner. I'm in the courthouse, I'm out in meetings, and I came back to be at a 4:00 KY3 interview. I didn't know who was going to be coming down, and we're talking about our 3% recreational marijuana tax. As was possible because of Amendment 3, put it on the 44-page amendment to the Constitution, that Missouri Constitution, that we could do that. And I truly believe that it's a defensive tax, because I don't like taxes. I think taxes are too high. But every state, including Colorado to begin with, and 21 other states that have had recreational marijuana, have had increased expenses in law enforcement, judicial, juvenile, prosecuting attorney, even HR had an increase from 50 to 500% on workman comp cases once recreational marijuana was passed in their state. I hate to take money out of our budget on services and put it over there in something that's just now is going to start occurring, where I have to cut something else. I'd rather those people, I don't care if anybody smokes recreational marijuana or medical marijuana, I don't care. What I do care is I'd like, if you're going to create part of the problem, some of you are going to create part of the problem, I just want you to pay for it. I don't want other taxpayers have to pay for it. And so I'm just trying to keep our budget balanced in Christian County. But this lady, young lady, 24 years old, from St. Louis, went to high school in St. Louis, went to University of Missouri in Columbia, graduated with a journalism degree, where most of those journalists graduate from is Columbia University of Missouri, and doing this interview. And she told me she was a Christian and that she understood why I was doing what I was doing. So that was good, because sometimes some of the young journalists don't understand some of those things. And I told her as she was leaving, I said, well, you're a Christian. I said, even if you weren't a Christian, I was going to invite you to an event in Ozark. And I asked her if she knew about Light the Way, and she said no. And I said, well, that's fine. You're going to know. And I said, so I'm going to buy your ticket. So I got her name and address and phone number. Don't worry. It's all, it's people. my wife says, you got to be careful what you do. And yeah, I know that. But, I want to make sure. I told her, I said, well, if you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend, I said, I don't really care. But I said, I'm going to buy you 2 tickets if you'll give one away, because you bring somebody with you. I said, I don't care who it is, but they may really need to hear it. I want everyone to be able to go. So I think that's one of the approaches we're going to do also, is just kind of pick people out over the next few months. Is when you see somebody, then the Lord's going to lead you to help that person and get their name, buy their ticket and stuff like that. So, so that's going to be good. So how do people get a hold of you? If they just want to know more about Light the Way, is there a Facebook page that they can read all about what you guys do?
Yeah, the easiest way is finding us on our website at lightthewayministry.com, and ministries with a Y. Okay. A lot of people can't find it because they type in ministries.
Okay, so it's with ministry with a Y.
That's correct. Yeah. Okay. So lightthewayministry.com. We're also on Facebook, Light the Way. If you're in these other communities that you've heard earlier that we're going to be in, you could find a specific Light the Way group page just by typing in Light the Way, the city name that I'd mentioned, and it will pop up and you can join that group and learn all about that festival in that community as well.
Okay, very good. And so tickets are already on sale?
Yeah, so tickets are on sale. They've been on sale for a while.
Okay.
And actually, this Friday, the ticket for early bird, super early bird, I apologize, super early bird tickets end. So if you want to save $30 right now on any level of ticket, whether it's you can get an individual day ticket, you can get a weekend ticket, 6 and under are free. So if you have youngsters, they're free. They don't need a ticket. You can get a platinum ticket, which includes a meet and greet with the headliner, one or the other. You can get, if you're a certain age of 7 to, I believe, 16 or something like that, a youth age, those are even discounted tickets as well. Or if you have a group of 7 or more, you can get an even better discount, or even 15 and more, an even deeper discount. So you can get tickets to this festival for as low as $20, depending on how you come.
Right.
But as of right now, we're in our super early bird savings. So this Friday, that ends at midnight. So you won't be able to save up to $30.
I will tell you right now, you can just look it up next Monday and make sure Janet and Lynn Morris is going to buy 2 tickets this Friday.
That's
for
right.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll go ahead and buy a couple extra tickets or 4 extra tickets.
Get them while they're cheap.
Cheaper, where I can give to Lauren and her friends and stuff like that. Well, that's great. I tell you what, how many people do you think? How many people are you hoping to have in Ozark? Do you think we can get over 10,000?
Well, we're praying for 42,000.
42. Do you have space for 42,000?
If we don't use it for parking.
Well, but we got to park our cars, and I know you're going to be organized, because somebody's already asked me, well, where are they going to park?
Yeah.
Well, you've got plans.
That's been the number one question.
Because you've done these things for so long. You may have other parking places and buses and different things. We'll bring them back and forth.
Yeah.
But trust me, I mean, I've been to your concerts where there's these large crowds, and you've probably been the most organized.
Yeah.
I always like these places where they have all these guys with flashlights, and they're helping you when you're getting there.
Yeah.
And when you get in your car to leave, you look around and there's nobody to help you get out. And so you're on your own, and you'd think that everybody'd be a little bit more nicer to each other. Just listen to one of those
coming
concerts.
From a Christian concert.
But I'm telling you that when there is no guidance,
right,
it's a problem sometimes.
Well, we tell our team this, look, we're here to serve.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the people in the parking lot. I told the people in the parking, just because you're signed up to be a parking person doesn't mean you're devalued in that role. As a matter of fact, you're probably one of the most important people, because you're the first people they see and the last people they see.
Right.
And that's all they're going to remember.
Right. Well, I mean, it's true. Well, I like the lemonade. I like the corn dogs.
He will be there.
I like all that stuff. I love the music. So real quickly, that Australian group that my wife loves, that's a big name people.
Darren, We Are Messengers.
Yeah. I think that was, it was two brothers from Australia that now live in the United States.
King and Country.
Oh, King and Country.
Yeah.
That's right. So they were from Australia, but they moved over here.
Yeah. We had them in 21.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had them in 21. What an awesome group. And this is the kind of people that you're going to have just like that. They may not be King and Country, but they're going to be somebody that somebody knows on some of these. If you listen to any Christian music radio stations, you're gonna recognize a lot of these people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Don would be upset with me if I didn't say a plug for Faith and her friends. When we need to get local people, Faith Zimmer is just a really great young voice, and so I would try to get she and her band and got some other people too that are local. I'd love to have just a local concert one night, maybe to get everybody excited. But
like a pep rally.
Yeah, pep rally. We could do that. But anyway, look at here. We can got this. We're getting ready to close. We're about out of time. 45 minutes goes by really fast. Yeah. But this is it. This is Light the Way, Ozark, Missouri, 2023. We got Newsboys. We got Matthew West. We've got all kinds of people that John and Beth Wilson Light the Way. I tell you, you won't go wrong. You won't be mad but investing this money to go to this concert. This is a great festival, 2 days in a row. I mean, I'll be there both days. You can come and go. I mean, if you go in the afternoon, if you get too hot, you can go home. eat dinner. You can come back.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't just have to just go one time. So you can do all this, but this is it. This is what I highly recommend for people to do on July 7th and July 8th. Thank you, and we'll be back next Wednesday.
Not tyranny. That's what it means to really dream. 1, 2, 3. Can I get a hoorah from a patriot like me? Can I get an amen? Do I hear a hallelujah? Can I get a hoorah from a patriot like me? That's what it means to really dream.